When a video triggers someone's reaction, it's a good thing. You need this to succeed throughout the algorithm because it's one of the metrics that is a feedback for the YouTube almighty algorithm to push the video and recommend it far to more people. On the other hand, comments don't necessarily need to be positive, and sometimes it can be meant to hurt you or at least question your choices. And on the other hand, it's also an opportunity to think about some aspects of the lore in the murder drones, as my friend here, who is called Curry Please, send the message, I believe, going, not going, she got a backup, send it, don't matter. Devaluing the impact of this scene and probably belittling the clip, the edit itself. Well, everyone has their opinion, and I will voice mine in this video. I went a little bit overboard and spent about a few dozens of minutes writing an essay in return. So, if V-score is destroyed and Absolute Solver revives fallen murder drones without conscious control of sin, then V wakes up in a backup body somewhere on Earth, hops in the spaceship, and rushes to Copper 9 to help Uzi and Anne. This assumption, though, should be false as far as I know. Further, if we want to dismiss stakes and emotional impact of V's death in episode 6, we will face three issues. First one is a timeline. At this point of the story, it's not known how backups work. Jay's iconic line, "There is no peace, not even in death," haven't happened yet. So, back then, when episode came out, episode 6, the most probable theory of backups was based on Jay's effective drones were cloned more, suggesting that there were multiple versions of serial designation J, V, and N existing at the same time. One dies, new one boots up and replaces it. The memories match to the point in time when clones were created. There will be an issue. They are separate entities, therefore V dying in episode 6 means the end for the character we followed so far in the story, and backup version will not have any recollection of the events we watched. Which is the issue with clones / parallel versions in general. The problem with the problem is that these are robots. So how about uploading memory just like Connor does in a game Detroit Become Human, for example? This will be discussed below. So, if the theory about parallel clones not having recollection of other versions' lives, then we would lost V just like Star-Lord lost his Gamora in the MCU. So that does not devalue the emotional impact of the scene. Second approach how to dismiss the impact of the scene goes through, so to say, no stakes, almost. After episode 8 and Jay's line, "There is no peace, not even in death," the new theory was formed about backups, and this one I follow today. The small null sphere that vanished shortly after it emerged from destroyed Jay's core in episode 1 is containing Jay's consciousness / soul. This sphere returns to the absolute solver sphere, that big one that was shown in episode 8 after Uzi burned away Sin's core. And then this consciousness can be uploaded to a lifeless backup body, effectively reviving a character with recollection of everything up to the point of their death. Not the core, which is autorun by solver, absolute solver / sin. This also means that no one who is once infected by absolute solver can really die. They are stuck in the reincarnation cycle as long as the absolute solver exists. Which means, for example, that the doll that the doll is still somewhere inside the big absolute solver sphere currently, and can return, which deems all the stakes in the story almost completely irrelevant. The issue is that at the moment when V makes her sacrifice, Uzi is new administrator for both N and V. It's hinted in the message on their displays after waking up from hacking in the episode 5. And also the fact that Sin couldn't, so to say, corrupt N into following her in the minds of the episode 7. It's the scene when she hugs him. She couldn't proceed with that due to Uzi being new administrator for N, and so Sin tried to eliminate N in episode 7. Also, when Uzi is their new administrator, it means that the V's null sphere / consciousness / soul would return to Uzi, who had no backup body available and might not even know how to revive V. Without her, Sin wins against N and Uzi in episode 8, so there actually still are some stakes. So, even if absolute solver theory holds, the soul of V would return to Uzi, who has no means of reviving her, which would significantly impact the story. Point number 3. That is about core and absolute solver automatism theory. Without Alice capturing Murder-Drone's core and keeping it in oven, V's core could roam free after her body would be destroyed by sentinels. Okay, then emerges question, who would control this core? Because in the case of J in episode 2, it was Sin or absolute solver, if these two are separate entities. And we are come on now. I cannot read, I'm sorry. It's so bad. English, my secondary language, and I honestly started to learn it only as turning as old as 15. Since after fatally damaging J in episode 1, it resulted in autorun reboot by absolute solver or /sin. It's unclear if these two are one or two separate entities. Would be Uzi in charge? Would be actually V in charge of her core? We are deep in the theory that has no substance, honestly. If V's core is destroyed though, and we ignore that Uzi is new admin, and absolute solver revives fallen murder drones without conscious control of Sin automatically, then V wakes up in a backup body somewhere on Earth, hops in the spaceship, and rushes to Copper 9 to help Uzi and N in episode 8. The issue with that is this shouldn't be the case. V's consciousness should return to the admin, that's currently Uzi, and she has no body for V. Therefore, Sin wins in the end, because Uzi and End weren't enough. Also, the reviving process could be fully controlled by Sin. So, even with ignoring that Uzi is V's new administrator, Sin just wouldn't revive V, and the story would go south again in favor of Sin. Alright, so even if the reincarnation, so to say, holds, Sin should be able to block V from getting back, or Uzi would have no means of resurrecting her due to not having any body available. Final conclusion. The only legit way to dismiss emotional impact of the scene in episode 6 is to argue that we cannot really know for sure if V died, until confirmed or proven false as it was done in episode 8. On top of all, back then, people didn't really know. It took for a whole year to disclose the fact that V was alive. Episode 6 came out on 19th of August of 2024, whereas episode 8, confirming V's still alive, came out on 24th August of 2024. So, I cannot read, neither write. I've seen a lot of mishaps here. So, I will leave it as is. Anyway, this is probably unhelpful, but I had a blast thinking about this really hard, and yeah, I am too connected with murder drones in an unhealthy way. Anyway, thank you for the comment, thank you for watching this video, and this will be all.